Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary and explanation of the main story from the Summertide Scales and Tales event released in the game Genshin Impact version 4.8. The traveler is sent a book, and when she opens it, loses consciousness. The traveler wakes up in unfamiliar surroundings. She walks around until she finds a talking piece of origami named Almond. Almond says he's an elder of the Forest of Blessings and was waiting for the hero of prophecy to arrive. Long ago, 3 goddesses created this world and named it Simulanka. Those goddesses were the goddesses of creation, prophecy, and fate. Almond adds an evil dragon descended on the land, and the Calligraphy Tavern then closed for some reason. The Calligraphy Tavern makes magic tonic, something all creatures in the Forest of Blessings need to live. Side note, they later learn magic tonic is actually ink, as everything in the forest is book-themed. Almond takes them to the Hut of Blessings to meet the Forest Fairy. Turns out the Forest Fairy is Nilou. Nilou says she was reading a book in Sumeru when she fell asleep. She then heard a voice telling her she is the Forest Fairy and to save the forest. When Nilou woke up, she was here and has been reading the books in the hut which discuss Simulanka's past. They then go around the forest and perform tasks for the residents to help reopen the Calligraphy Tavern. As they go around, they hear a story about how the goddess of creation folded some paper, said some magic words, and brought paper to life. Nilou decides to give it a try. She takes some paper, folds it into a paper hamster, and says some magic words of her own choosing. Nilou's paper hamster comes to life and says his name is Padisara. It seems this world is governed by fairy tale logic, and words are enough to create magic. When Nilou made Padisara, she sensed something and asked Padisara and Almond to look under the Calligraphy Tavern. Padisara and Almond do so and report there's an empty ink bottle there. Nilou asks the traveler to retrieve some items, and she does so. Nilou then takes a nearby empty ink bottle and combines it with the items the traveler retrieved. Once she's finished, the concoction somehow turns into magic tonic. Nilou asks Almond to place the new magic tonic next to the empty ink bottle under the Calligraphy Tavern, and he does so. Nilou then heads to Calligraphy Tavern, says some magic words of her own choosing, and magically restores the tavern. Everyone is amazed, and Almond suddenly remembers more of the prophecy. Almond says the prophecy foretold the hero would restore peace to this world with the help of their companions. Almond believes the traveler is the hero of prophecy and directs them to Constellation Metropole, a city reachable via the Maritime Express. Nilou says she'll go too. The next day they meet at the platform for the Maritime Express. Almond explains while the residents of the forest are origami, the residents of Constellation Metropole are toys. The train comes in and on it is a sleeping Kirara. Kirara says she found herself here yesterday. She also heard a voice but doesn't remember what was said. Kirara joins them on the train and gets off part way to explore something. They continue on without her and eventually make it to Constellation Metropole. When they enter, the king of the city approaches them. Turns out, it's Navia. Navia said she woke up here and heard a voice telling her she was the king of Constellation Metropole and to save the city. Paimon says they want to see the goddess of prophecy, and Navia says there's a statue of her at the top of the castle. Navia adds the dragon recently attacked the city, scattering the stars in the sky across Metropole. Some monsters also invaded, but Navia beat up most of them. Navia goes on to say there's another prophecy that tells them to push the celestial gear that connects to the starry sky. This prophecy vaguely hints the goddess will then take away the magic she's given to the residents of Metropole. The residents of Metropole have the power to rewind time when they're in danger, though this power has gone wonky recently. In fear of losing this power, the residents are divided on whether to push the celestial gear, which is also at the top of the castle. They make their way through the castle, collecting the stars scattered by the dragon along the way, and eventually reach the top. They ask the statue of the goddess of prophecy some questions, but it just repeats the prophecy Navia told them earlier. They decide to fulfill the prophecy and use a nearby flying train to put the scattered stars back into the sky. Just as they finish, a bunch of residents appear who are against pushing the celestial gear. Navia convinces them to change their minds and they push the gear, realizing Metropole is actually a giant music box. It's unclear if the residents' rewind power is gone, but residents do feel freed from a set path. Navia decides to join the traveler and fight the dragon. A resident says the dragon is at the end of the world and covered the area in a fog. They also learn the Maritime Express can take them there and hop on it the next morning. They ride the Maritime Express through the fog and right over a waterfall. Luckily, Hat Guy appears and rescues them all. Side note, Hat Guy used to be known as the Fatui Harbinger Scaramouche, but that was erased from everyone's memories in an Archon quest. Hat Guy says he woke up in this world with a sword at his waist. Hat Guy says it's the hero sword and it seems he's the hero of prophecy. Hat Guy's been looking for a way out of Simulanka, but to no success. Hat Guy also saved the Maritime Express's driver, who says he heard locals say the dragon's lair is behind the waterfall. They decide to fight the dragon and grab a nearby dragon scale. The dragon scale seems to be able to turn anything it touches into toy blocks. They use the dragon scale and go behind the waterfall and find the dragon's lair. They go through the lair and witness some of the dragon's memories. They continue on and the dragon attacks them. They beat the dragon, and as they're about to deliver the finishing blow, Hat Guy holds them back. The dragon then envelops Hat Guy in fog and shows him more of his memories. It seems the dragon isn't a bad guy, just misunderstood. The dragon chats with Hat Guy and says it wishes it was never born. Hat Guy disapproves, leaves the fog, and calls the dragon Durin, his real name. Just then the platform gives way and Durin falls with Hat Guy going after it. The traveler falls too, but is saved by Kirara, who says she followed behind them. Hat Guy soon returns. The group realize Durin is the same name as the dragon whose body rests on Dragonspine after being slain by Dvalin. They recall Durin was created by Gold Rhindaughter. Side note, Dvalin is a dragon we met during Mondstadt's Archon quest. Rhindaughter is one of the 5 sinners of Conria, who Dainsleif holds responsible for the destruction of Conria 500 years ago. Rhindaughter, also known as R, is also a member of the Hexenzirkel, a group of powerful witches. They jump in after Durin and find themselves in a study. Hat Guy goes over what he saw in the fog and says Simulanka's goddess of fate is actually M, another member of the Hexenzirkel. M created the Simulanka's Durin. They look around and learn M died a while back and Durin took the stars in Metropole because it missed her. They also learn the goddess of prophecy is another Hexenzirkel member called Barbie or B, and the goddess of creation is another member called Alice or A. Side note, Alice is also Klee's mom. Durin then shows up and they learn Durin just wants some friends. Unfortunately, Durin's body is cursed. Everything Durin touches turns into toy blocks and everywhere Durin steps turns into a barren wasteland. Nilou chimes in and tells Durin he should close his eyes and make a wish. Durin does so and everyone says some magic words of their own choosing. Somehow, Durin is cured of his cursed body and becomes small and cute. The group advise Durin to make amends for the damage he caused and to make friends with Simulanka's residents. Durin agrees and they head outside where they find a talking lamp. Turns out it's Alice who provides some answers. Alice refers to the now cute Durin as Mini Durin. Alice says she along with M and B created Simulanka. In Simulanka, words and emotion have power, which is why reciting words can cause magic. As for how they all got here, when Mini Durin made a wish to the goddess of fate, the people here just happened to all be holding copies of M's fairy tale. And because they were all kind people, the goddess of fate transported them to Simulanka to save the world. Side note, though M, the actual goddess of fate, died, a reflection of her remains in Simulanka, which is the one who transported them all here. As for the traveler, Alice sent her a copy of M's fairy tale. Alice says now that Mini Durin received their blessing, Mini Durin can actually leave Simulanka and visit Teyvat. In fact, all the residents of Simulanka can visit Teyvat. Alice then tells them how to get out of Simulanka and hints she might invite some other visitors to Simulanka. Sometime later, the traveler returns to Simulanka to check on Mini Durin. She wanders around and sees Jean, Kaya, Kale, and Mona. They eventually find Fischl, Mini Durin, and Hat Guy. Albedo and Klee soon arrive. Klee, Mini Durin, and Fischl go off to play while Hat Guy talks about something he heard in Mini Durin's memories. Hat Guy heard the original Durin will return. Albedo adds he's been observing the original Durin's corpse on Dragonspine and it does seem to be coming back to life. Albedo says if Durin comes back to life, he'll need the help of Hat Guy and Mini Durin. Albedo asks Hat Guy to think about it. They soon rejoin the others and Mini Durin asks if he can visit Teyvat with Hat Guy. Hat Guy says okay. And that is the end of this quest in this video. If you like what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.